I voted for you, but I really don't like your budget. A wise person once said, budgets are policy. We can talk about policy, but budgets really are policy. And I looked down the list under energy efficiency, and it's kind of a who's who of backwards policy. I mean, let's see, we want more efficient vehicles, so let's cut vehicle technologies by 81%, or bioenergy technologies, let's cut that by 82%. Hydrogen and fuel cell, very promising, minus 72. It goes on and on. Solar, minus 76. Wind, minus 78. Water power, that's only minus 69. Geothermal, a tremendously potential, minus 76. You just go down and down the list. I don't get it. I mean, this is the future. This is where we're going to try to solve these very daunting energy problems, and you're cutting everything. I think the total is 74.7%, three-quarters. What possible justification is there for that?
Well, I think what you're looking at, Senator, and I appreciate your comments, and thank you for your kind comments, and thank you for your support, not only here in the committee, but on the Senate floor as well. I sincerely appreciate that. And, you know, my family also enjoyed our conversations about our Acadian heritage, so thank you for those as well. But with regard to your specific question, I think it's important for us to recognize and sometimes take a step back and recognize that the department conducts research and development complex-wide. So the Office of Science, for instance, other laboratories, for instance, all do work.
We haven't even gotten to ARPA-E yet, so be careful.
I understand. I understand. But the complex conducts research enterprise-wide.
So are you telling me that research in vehicle technologies, wind energy, advanced manufacturing is being done is being offset by these numbers?
In certain cases,
I'd like to see it.
In certain cases, it is. So, for instance,
if
with
you could
regard,
produce that for the record, I'd like to see it.
sure, I'd be happy to do that. I'll just give you one quick example. So, for instance, with regard to advanced manufacturing and vehicle manufacturing, some of that work's being done at Oak Ridge National Laboratory in the area of advanced materials.
Where I visited. It's very impressive what they're doing.
It's very impressive. You know, the 3D printing capabilities there are phenomenal. But it's that
You said that on purpose because you know the largest 3D printer in the world is at the University of Maine.
Exactly right.
Nice try.
You could read my mind. But it's just, you know, so when you look at the specific line items, you know, if you go through it as an accountant, you can very easily see the cuts. But I think what's important is to look at the results of the work that's being done at DOE, and that's cross-cutting.
Well,
it goes all across the complex.
If you're suggesting that there are offsetting increases in other areas that will mitigate this disaster, I'd like to see that. But let me move to ARPA-E, because I looked at ARPA-E, and you did something that I didn't think was possible. You cut something 173%. Now, the reason that's possible is that you didn't spend a significant part of the funds that were allocated by the Congress last year. Now, you and other members of the administration have sat here and said, we will do what the Congress told us to do. We will follow the law. In fact, you used that exact phrase, we will follow the law. Well, not spending a substantial portion of the funds that Congress allocates and then trying to claw them back the next year is not following the law. Congress appropriated that money in order to put it toward important scientific projects, and the figure is in the range of $100 and some odd million. It's a minus $310 million that you're clawing back. And again, this is fundamental research. This is one of our most basic bulwarks against the energy catastrophe that's heading for us. What's the thinking?
It's a fair point. You know, there were some carryover funds from that particular program, but I would offer that, you know, it's a bit of a chicken and egg. You're absolutely correct that we have an obligation to follow the law, and we have an obligation to get the money out of the door as quickly as possible in accordance with the appropriations that you generously provide us. It also requires applicants on the other side, however, that we have an obligation to conduct due diligence on. So it's not just the question of, you know, getting the money and moving it out the door. It's getting applicants on the other side that are fully qualified to receive the money. So it's a
Certainly,
process.
I understand that, and I'm not asking you to airdrop money over Maine or Colorado or anyplace else, but there is I mean, the problem is for the past several years I've sat and been satisfied by the representation saying we will follow the law when a half or two-thirds of the money that's been allocated, and it's invasion of the Congress's power of the purse. We have the ultimate authority on appropriations and the responsibility. I think the phrase is take care that the laws be faithfully executed. And I don't think it's being faithfully executed when a substantial portion is held back and then is attempted to be clawed back in the following year's budget. But I'm sure you're going to help me out here and provide the data that we've discussed, and I look forward to working with you.
Yes, sir, I will. I will make myself available to you or your staff, and I will provide any detail that would support the comments I just made. And I'll also, again, reiterate the point that, you know, this is a proposal. It is the president's budget, but as you rightfully point out, you will, at the end of the day, determine the final budget as well as the final appropriations that are associated with these programs, and you have my commitment.
And that's the right answer, but you've got to commit to administering that budget according to the way it's passed here. You understand my concern?
I understand your concern.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator King. And Senator, I think following Senator Manchin's comments and the observations that he had made about the GAO report, I think that that is something that the committee would appreciate a more detailed review from the department. So we'll look forward to
Yes, ma'am.
that.